everybody, and today, first of all, I'm going to tell you something. The channel is changing again. Now I'm going to make videos about the Monsterverse. People who inspired me, well, Goji Center and Dangerville. By the way, you should check those guys out. They make pretty cool videos. Although I think Goji Center is better. I mean, I watched Dangerville in like a month or two, so I can't say much. I'm sorry. But in this video, we're gonna go over some species in Skull Island. Now, let's start with the smallest one on there, and let me just do something real quick. Okay, back on the video. The smallest thing on Skull Island is a giant wasp. I'm not joking, and here's the crazy thing. I found out this thing even exists from a Goji Center video. This thing was like 8 inches long. It had like a 6-inch wingspan. This is all estimated, by the way. An estimate of 1 inch in height. So pretty much, I mean, if you think about it, you got like 8 inches. This thing's useless. Well, if it was since it's a bug, like 8 inches is the most you can get out of a bug. I mean, like, people are considering the tarantula, a hawk wasp, a giant bug, and it's only 2 inches. And if you don't know what that is, basically it's an Australian xenomorph. I'm not joking. Its biology is so similar to a xenomorph, and a xenomorph doesn't even exist. And the tarantula hawk wasp is making me think of the chance of xenomorphs existing on this world, and thinking, has it increased? Because these things are basically xenomorphs. They paralyze spiders, then lay their eggs on them for the larvae, which in a xenomorph's case would be a facehugger, to just devour it, keeping the spider nice and fresh and alive. Because turns out, the entire time the spider feels everything, but a giant wasp is even more dangerous. Because turns out that one sting from these things, one sting, and you're dead. Because these things have high venom, and the other thing is, when it comes to Skull Island, unlike Jurassic World and stuff, which I'll also be making videos on, by the way, yeah, size doesn't matter, unlike Jurassic World. But what about a bigger insect? How many words am I starting to forget how to say? So the giant ant, we don't know its exact size. I mean, like, its size is but label in Godzilla X Kong Titan Chasers literally just says unknown, which helps us a lot. Thank you, Legendary Pictures. I understand how big this thing is, but we can estimate that since it's your flipping giant ant, we can definitely say it's at least the size of a human. Although we don't think it'll be able to carry your weight as much times as the actual ants of themselves, we could definitely say it's able to fling a human body across 100 feet. These things are like 5 feet long, 1 foot tall, wingspan none. And we don't have any confirmation for the giant wasp and ants if there's a queen. So we're going to assume that those don't exist. If they did exist, that's going to be in part 2. I'm back. I just need to do something. But another question you're probably asking: is there any other flying things that are big? Well, if you haven't watched the movies and only heard about it, I'll tell you. And why not bring up one of, if not my favourite flying things from Skull Island. Now, I think it was called a vulture bat. I keep on forgetting the name, but I think it's this creature. It has a wingspan of 5 feet, has a lot of similarities to a bat, has an estimate of a 9-foot wingspan, and you can shoot out electricity. These things, I think, were in the birth of Kong comics or whatever it's called. I just forget stuff a lot. And I think they're very cool. I wish we could see them in this upcoming movie, Godzilla X Kong Supernova. But I mean, like, the movie, you started the production 8 days ago. So like, at the start they could plan for it to be in the film, then they could plan for it to not be in the film. Who knows? Not me. But what about something bigger? Much bigger. Kongs. Now, the Kong species is confusing in a lot of ways when it comes to size. Because they actually have 2 specimens. Now, let's look at the first one. And the ones which are in this video. Skull Island Kongs. Max size, 200 feet. The Arch Nemesis, or just main enemy, Skull Crawlers. These creatures are actually called the Great Apes. Their most known specimen, Kong. And this guy, if you're thinking about the Godzilla vs Kong movie, if it's either the Toho one or the legendary one, you could definitely say one thing. The main focus is a Kong, and basically it's a big monkey. And the thing with Kong, fun fact, he's actually a hybrid of a Skull Island Kong and a Hollow Earth Kong. Hollow Earth Kongs will be reviewed in my Hollow Earth video. That's the reason why he's not 500 feet tall, which, looking at the Kong statue, which was appearing in a few seconds in Godzilla vs. Kong, I would estimate that to be 500 feet tall. But the Kong is more than the 200 feet tall. So that's why he's technically in the middle. Although, with the exact middle is a little bit bigger than him. And it's actually debatable if in Godzilla X Kong the New Empire he grew to 360 feet. Or if he just stayed the same size. Did he? At this point I just don't know. But we're not reviewing those kind of Kongs, we're reviewing the Skull Island Kongs. Now it's possible that females were shorter, being 180 feet tall. But the thing is that well, the male Kong, like Kong's father, the male great ape, was the biggest of the tribe. Although he was the biggest giant ape in the tribe, that doesn't mean the female guardian of Kong has to be the largest. And that's probably another reason why the offspring of these two, Kong, wasn't 500 feet. When it comes to Kongs, they're very confusing in height and size and stuff. And I might possibly be wrong. I don't even know anymore. But this is the knowledge I have of it. And out of any primate we've seen, probably other than the one from Godzilla Dominion, he is the tallest one, even surpassing Scar King, who isn't going to be mentioned in this video because he's in Hollow Earth. Oh, what about something a little bit more dangerous and more of a destroyer? Skull crawlers. The thing about skull crawlers, these things have two kind of species. They look like ants. They have a colony. Let's go over the normal ones. These skull crawlers at juvenile size are big as well, standing at 12 feet tall and 35 feet long. But in adulthood, they're even bigger, standing at a whopping 95 feet tall and 194 feet long. The specimen Ramarak, one of the only adult skull crawlers to ever exist, was the killer of Kong's parents. Turns out to mainly killing Kong's father, the largest in the tribe, with some sort of slash on the tail, cause these creatures, the way they work is weird. They stand on two hind legs, so with a long tongue they use to catch prey from afar, with heat sensors on their skull-like face, which look like eyes, with their eyes would be the most noticeable, with a sharp, bony spike, with approximately 8 sharp, bony spikes at the end of their tail. Now, you can probably now imagine what these look like. They have some similarities to the V-Rex from the Peter Jackson's, I think that's the director, 2005, the King Kong movie. I don't know what, if you need more classification in case another movie came out in 2005, or you think another movie came out in 2005, basically the one with Jack Black. Yes, if you forgot, there is actually Jack Black in a King Kong movie. Damn, what are we meant to expect now? The same dude who screamed Chicken Jockey is in a monster film. Wonder where he's going to be in next. But that's off topic. The alpha ones, though, are even bigger. We've never seen a juvenile alpha skull crawler. What we can imagine it to be, though, 60 feet long, with a height of 30 feet. But adults, we've seen those. Standing at to 200 feet tall and 400 feet long. But you might be wondering, how can you identify these two other than size? Well, it's simple. The main color of skull crawlers is a little like green and white. White for the skulls and green for their skin color. The skin color of alpha skull crawlers, though, is a blackish greyish with some red bone, but still some white. And that's how you identify them, other than size, of course. Turns out these specimens also venture into Hollow Earth sometimes, even having fights with Godzillas. Pretty crazy, right? But how about another one? Well, we'll go over one final one, and then the episode's over, because this thing is nearly 16 minutes long at this point of recording. So the one I'm picking is one which I think is a little bit underrated. The Spore Fly Soldier. Probably one of, if not the most unknown Skull Island creature, because this one never appeared in the movies. Its size is unknown, or you could say unestimated. And the thing is, they protect their queen, the Sporefly Queen. Wow, we didn't know that. But I'm going to tell you guys about that one in the second episode. We don't know much about these, but from the Godzilla x Kong Titan the Chaser's size comparisons, we could definitely say that, yeah, they're pretty easy for a human to crush. Maybe. I don't know. Not much is known about these things, because the only actual confirmation we have of them is from the Godzilla x Kong Titan Chasers game. If anything, there is a slim chance that they only reside, that their only environment is in the Hollow Earth. Like, it's not, when you look at the creature, right, it's not something you would expect to be in Hollow Earth, but maybe. So, this is where I'm gonna end the video off. This video is, well, it's been 18 minutes, and I planned for it to be like 10 or something. So I'm gonna end the video now, since I'm 8 minutes over what this video was meant to be. But I'm not cutting any of it out. Bye, guys.